Hi, I'm Stuart from the Caravan and Camping Industries Association of South Australia, and I know many of you take away kayaks and canoes. I see them on top of the car, I see them on top of the trailer, and today I'm here with Laurie from Paddling Trails SA, and what are we going to be doing?
Stuart, we're going to have a look at the 3 different types of canoes and kayaks that you can take away with you when you're out on your camping trip.
Excellent. Well, let's go to the river and check them out. All right, we're down by the river and we've got this one type of kayak.
That's right.
What are these called?
These are sit-in kayaks, Stuart. So they come in a range of versions, both doubles over here and single versions over here.
Well, let's go look at the single versions first. Okay, so we're down a little bit closer on these two. Again, these two are single person sit-in kayaks.
That's right.
So just tell me, what's the difference between the two?
So the big difference between the two straight away when you look at them is that the yellow one that you're looking at there has a big open cockpit area that you can sit in. This one here, the orangey one, has a smaller cockpit area.
So by cockpit, you're talking about that kind of size of the opening?
Yeah, the big area, the area that you actually sit in.
Okay, and so is this suited more for a child, this one?
You could use it, a young child could use it, like even a teenager, but it's also suited for an adult with a young child that they could actually sit between their legs in this one, or even if they've got a small pet, they want to take them away on a short paddle with them.
And I've noticed that both of them have got like a backrest that you can adjust.
These are a soft foam adjustable backrest, so they'll let you sit upright and it makes your trip a little bit more comfortable.
Okay, and you can store a bit of gear in here when you're travelling. You've got handles on both the front and the back to help you to take it down to the river.
For sure, and just remember when you're storing stuff in here, you still need to waterproof it before you put it inside this hatch.
Excellent. Okay, so this is a single person sit-in kayak.
That's right.
All right, let's go look at the double. Okay, so we've just talked about the single person sit-in kayak, and what are these?
These are double sit-in person kayaks.
Okay, so basically the same type, you're still sitting within them, but these are for 2 people. But the big difference I see is you've got one cockpit, you've got 2 cockpits.
That's exactly right.
So this, what type of use is this more suited for?
So this is really used for day trippers. People are up in the backwaters of the Carrapco Creek area near Loxton, and they're just going out for a day trip. So this is ideal for that sort of tripping around.
And I noticed that the backrest has got a few more adjustments. It seems to be a lot more sturdy for longer paddling, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is. So generally you'd go out for a few more hours at a time in this.
And it's got the handles like the other one. You've got the map holders, and you've got the storage areas where you put things into in a waterproof bag first to put it in there just in case.
That's right.
That's right. And as we move from this to the double cockpit, this is a lot longer craft. What is this suited for?
So this is really suited for long day trips and especially even overnight trips. So there's 2 large cockpits, but storage areas, both in the back and the front for when you can take your camping gear.
Okay, so this is the type that I would like to go away with. So we've got a cockpit each, so we're both paddling. We've got separate map holders. We've got some storage areas so I can put my lightweight tent in there, my stove, my water, all that gear in there. And I guess you're saying that the length of the craft is suited for more kind of straight line touring?
Yeah, so the simple rule of thumb is the longer the kayak is, the easier it is to glide through the water.
Okay, and we use this type of paddles. So it's got 2 ends on this?
That's right.
2 ends, 2 paddles?
Yeah, 2 paddles.
And we use this for all these sitting kayaks?
That's right.
Okay, and we use a different type of paddle for a different type of kayak?
Yeah.
A different type of canoe?
No, we use a different type of paddle for a canoe, which we'll show you later on.
Excellent. And I've also noticed on this one here that you've got a rudder.
Yeah, so the idea on the rudder on this is because it's such a long kayak, it'll help you steer a little bit better, especially when you want to get to the point that you want to get towards. And if it's a little bit windy or a little bit choppy, whether or not you're out on a coastal paddle or even in the backwaters of the Murray River or even down the Coorong, the rudder will definitely help you.
So this just kind of flips over, catches the water, and you can steer it a little bit on the inside, is that right?
Yep, so you have some foot pedals on the inside and you use your foot pedals by pushing either on your left-hand foot or your right-hand foot, and it'll let you control the rudder and point you in the direction you want to go.
This is my style of kayak. I think I'll have to borrow one, go for a trip. Okay, Laurie, so we've just talked about the single and the double sit-in style of kayaks. What have we got here?
So these are newer kayaks which have been available for quite a few years though, and these are what are called sit-on-top kayaks. So you're actually sitting on top of the water, but what happens here is in the event of a capsize, the water will actually drain out of these quite easily. So they're really like a big surfboard on the water, but they're designed with comfort features for you to go paddling.
So you're saying that if you happen to topple over, say if you're at in the sea near the beach and you kind of topple over, you just got to turn the craft back over and the water drains out by itself.
That's exactly right.
Well, that would be fantastic, especially for me if I'm a little bit worried about, you know, capsizing. But so we've got 2 seats in this one, single seat in this, self-explanatory. You've got some storage areas in them, but I noticed that they're not enclosed in the craft. So again, put it into a stuff sack that's waterproof, or a waterproof bag, pop it in there. We use, again, a double bladed paddle.
That's right.
So you don't use the single ones?
No.
You use the double ones?
That's exactly right.
All right, and there seems to be a lot of kind of adjustments for your feet. Well, not adjustments, but positioning.
They're called footwells, and so really depending on your size, there's just a couple of options where you can actually place your feet there. There's not multi-adjustments like there is in the other sit-in kayaks.
But notice the backrest on this one's nice and large. They are a little bit wider than the other craft that we looked at. So how does that kind of react different on the water?
So that makes it a lot more stable, but because they're a little bit wider and they've got a flatter bottom on them, and some of the other kayaks we looked at earlier on, they're a bit slower to paddle.
Okay.
So they're not really designed for a really long day trip. Short day trip, they're fine, but you really wouldn't go overnight camping in something like this.
Okay, so more of a recreational type of craft for a day, not self-leveling,
Oh, they're self-righting.
self-righting.
Yeah.
And the water drains at the bottom, so these seem to be like a really good craft for the family.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. Okay, so we've looked at the sit-on type, so now we're going to go look at the other type, which is called
A canoe.
Okay, Laurie, so this is the last type of the 3 different types that we've been talking about today. And what have we got here?
So we've got an open canoe.
Open canoe. Okay, so what's the difference between yours? You got like 3 cockpits?
That's right. So I'm still sitting down just like you, and the person in the front sitting down, but there's a large opening in the middle which is separated, right?
So you put a bit of gear in there?
Yeah, definitely put a little bit of gear in there, like some barrels and your dry bags. And this is ideal if you're going away on a long trip. Because it's got so wide at the bottom, it's a little bit flatter. It's a bit slower.
And I see, like, I've got like the Rolls Royce that feels like I'm sitting in here. Look at this paddle, beautiful. And I've noticed that this paddle is a single ended paddle with 1 blade.
That's right.
Is that correct? So I'm paddling this style of technique.
Exactly right.
Whereas the other one was double paddle, double ended.
That's
and
right.
so this is kind of hasn't got a cockpit at all. It's just completely open. And you can adjust the seating in here, forward or back, or...
And you can also adjust, there's a small foot brace there that you can adjust. But the big beauty of this is it's a bit slower than a kayak that we looked at earlier on, but there's lots and lots of room to take lots of camping gear away when you go away on an overnight trip. You may even only do a day trip, but you can still take lots of gear with you.
So if I wanted to do a couple of days camping around the river, this is probably the style that would suit best.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so you put a couple of barrels in there, put your gear in there, do it up nice and tight. That stays waterproof when they're in there. And I could just imagine myself paddling up the river. It's so quiet and peaceful, isn't it?
It is.
So everyone, if you're going away caravanning camping and you've been taking your canoe or your kayak, or you've been interested in buying one, we've just gone through all the different types and also what they're uses for and what they're suited for as well. So remember, you can put them on the roof, you can put them on your camper trailer, you can put them on top of the wind-up camper trailer. There's lots of different options. But thanks, Laurie. You've done a great job of explaining these into 3 main types. And if you want any more information, please go to the Paddling Trails SA website or caravanandcampingsa.com.au website.
Thanks, Stuart.
Okay, Laurie, so we've just spoken about 2 different types, the sit-in and the sit-on. And what type have we got here?
These are canoes, open canoes.
Open canoes. Okay, so yours looks different to mine, so just go through some of the features of yours.
So mine's a little bit different because we've got 2 separate cockpits. One I'm in the back, there's another one up at the front, and there's a big open hatch area in the middle, which means you can put lots of your gear in here The other big difference is mine's is a lot wider and it's very flat on the bottom, so it's definitely a bit slower. Definitely slower than the kayaks that we looked at earlier on.
And it looks like I'm sitting in the Rolls Royce of Canoe. So this doesn't have a cockpit, it's just completely open, and I imagine that I can put all of my gear again in some storage barrels, waterproof barrels. I could chuck the dog in there, I could put a couple of kids in there. So really this is like the minivan of canoes.
It's the family canoe.
It's a family canoe. So this one here, I noticed it's a little bit different. It's made out of something a bit different. What's the size of this one?
Kevlar.
So this is made of Kevlar, but the seating's adjustable. You've got a footrest in here that's adjustable as well. So really, these styles, so this is called the Canoe, these are more suited for a camping trip away if you wanted to go overnight.
For sure.
Yeah, so you put the gear in there, put it away. Okay, and I've noticed also that this paddle is a single-sided paddle, single blade, compared to the other ones, the sit-in and the sit-on had double-sided. So this is a different type of stroke to the other ones. And really, there's so much storage in here, I could take pretty much anything away on a caravan and camping trip. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. These are the different types of canoes and kayaks that you can get. There's 3 different main types, and you can put them on the roof of your car, you can put them on the roof of your camper trailer. So hopefully this will make it a little bit easier if you're interested in buying one. And if you want any more information, don't forget to go to the Paddling Trails SA website or caravanandcampingsa.com.au. Thanks a lot, Laurie.
Thanks, Stuart.